Okay, so welcome to the CGE Open Day, which is 2 hours, which is a day apparently. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Moritz, and this someone could point the next slide. Just to introduce you to the basic schedule of the next 2 hours. We'll have an official welcome by our chairwoman Amalia, followed by overviews of our main areas of work, which is civic education, media literacy, entrepreneurship, sustainability and well-being. Then our volunteers will talk about volunteering, and Bojana will present our local activities. After that, there'll be snacks and more coffee and more drinks and the weekend. So with that, come on in.
Hello. Thank you for coming. It was really nice to see you now today. I'm Amalia. I'm part of the board, and today we would like to share a bit of our organization, what are we doing so far, and who are our crew in CGE and so on. So first of all, I would like to ask you, who's any one of you has been involved in CGE or have heard anything about CGE? Culture goes Shiro. So, okay. So half. That's good. So, CGE was founded around 2005 by Markus Rebitzek. Basically, he found CGE with his other colleague, and then for 15 years they've been working a lot with society, cultural activities, and the ideas of non-formal educations for young people. And there has been some, of course, transformations, evaluations. He handed over the ideas of CGE that kept on being, implemented by more younger generations. So we have here Moritz, Marina, Zafar, as a kind of, we were one of perhaps the oldest crew, and then Bojana as well. She used to be working as a volunteer, and she kept on being strong, staying with us. And the idea of CGE is a kind of a platform for young people to be able to implement their ideas of projects, how to do the projects on civic educations and sustainability and media literacy and employability that are for our main topics. And so the idea of learning by doing, what we want to achieve here is, or what we want to portray here within our works or our field of work is to employ or to show how important it is the ideas of equal opportunities, meaning that through our projects we would like to invite all young people from all over Europe, and in fact for all over the world, because us as our organizations also being we were carried on by many crew from other nationalities, German, Uzbek, Portugal, Bosnia, many people coming. And we have the same or similar missions and visions of what we want to do for the society, which is to bring or to portray more openness to the Thuringian society in general, and for ideally Europe has an idea, concept of togetherness and open society. And so how to do that? What we believe is that it is important to create a possibility of circumstances where we could facilitate the learning process of young people or young adults between peer-to-peer, where they could explore what is happening all over the world and within these very relevant topics that we are now facing. We have variety of educational programs through workshops, conferences, various youth exchanges between 5 countries, 6 countries, 7 countries, and we also have a project that involves bilateral cooperations between Greek, for instance, between Russia, between Ukraine. So this is very broad way of implementing these ideas. So the diversity of methodology, so to say, the diversity of way to achieve our missions was aimed at facilitating the learning through non-formal educations, which we believe it is not only necessary, it's not as complementary as formal educations, but I think it should go hand by hand, formal education with non-formal educations, and I think it is our privilege to be able to provide this for all young people. Yeah. Just as what I said before, this is the diversity of our team. I cannot pinpoint what is the I don't know, the dominant culture within this office. Our culture, how to say, the culture of organizations within our office is foremost is a humanism, I think, and the idea of openness. And we respect this idea of diversity, that each person, as each personality, brings their own ideas with similar missions of bringing young people all over the world sharing the ideals. Yeah, they will introduce themselves later on. Maybe you've seen some faces, they are familiar, and then maybe you've been involved in some projects with them. Don't be ashamed, you can approach them and then we can talk more about what they are doing. Diversity of funding, this is also one of, how to say, the main motors that keep us implementing our projects, otherwise there won't be any projects. So this was done, I think, in annual 2017, so this was based on the project that we had 2017. Of course, 2018 we still don't have it because it's still going on. So basically, in 2017, compared to 2016, the budget of CGE has increased by 70%. So the motor, yeah, of our organization has been working so hard to be able to provide more opportunities for young people. And mostly, we got our fundings from Erasmus+. So within Erasmus+, there were several kind of framework or formats of what kind of funding that they will provide. So the youth exchange, for instance, or teaching course for adult, or strategic partnerships between partners, and as well as another key action that we are still trying to manage to get it. But Erasmus Plus is one of the dominant funding resources for our organization. And another one, the second one is it's not really showing.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
This is Ministry for Foreign Office. So yeah, they usually fund projects that are mostly bilateral cooperations. For examples, the one that I know mostly is called Starting Dialogue, which later I will explain. And then another source of funding came from this one was, I think, Robert Bosch too. Yeah. I think Marina will talk about the projects later. And then I think only 2% based on local funding, or no, there is also one from
Ministry and
Ministry
Mental
of-
Foundation.
yeah. So only little part of the funding resources came from the regional funding. So most of that 70% came from the Erasmus Plus. So this is also why we have hosted a lot of youth exchange projects, training course projects, and so on. Yeah. So, yeah, the topic of our work. Hello. The topic of our work. They are not separated within each other. We have civic educations, employability, media literacy, and sustainability and well-being. I would say some of the projects are connected Yeah, I mean, for instance, one project could be about media literacy, but it also contains the issues of employability or even civic education. So they are not separated. But we hope to bring more synergy. So each one of this topic will kind of represent it within the project that would be more, how to say, more implemented in with our organizations. 2 more minutes?
Mm-hmm.
I think the last. Oh no, yeah, that's all from me. This is the opening, and there will be some project managers who will be talking about each type of project specifically on civic educations, on employability, on media literacy and sustainability and well-being. It will be more detailed. It was an introductions for you. If you had any questions, feel free. That's it from me. Thank you. Questions?
No questions
Not
at
yet.
this point?
Nothing? Okay. Yeah. So civic education stage is yours.
Yes. So I've already introduced myself. I'm one of the staff members that deal with civic education, and that's the kind of traditional kind of civic education, political education part of supporting the fight against the far right. Right now, very strongly here in Thuringia, and we do quite a few trainings, youth exchanges with international partners on topics, and anti-discrimination, remembrance work, history education. But also empowerment. We'll see that when we go into a couple of pictures from events from last year. So in general, of course, this is one of the, I would say, traditional roles to strengthen, to empower other people to be more engaged and literate, politically literate citizens. That's what we're talking about here. So we usually have partners from within the EU 28 and outside of it. So we have a long history of cooperating, also especially with the Balkans. And we can maybe go through a couple of projects that are currently going on and that we have planned so far. And the biggest project that we're doing so far, at this very moment, is a project called Staring at Goats, which is very obvious what it's about. But it's about remembrance culture and how to basically use historic examples to show how to maybe not do things again today, how to better combat far right rhetoric or populist rhetoric. And we're doing that through 13 events in 5 different countries. So we have an Estonian partner, we have a Portuguese partner, Croatian partner, and a Greek partner. All of them are doing local projects. We are the coordinating partners. Bojan and I are coordinating the team. And the main thing, or the big thing that comes out of it, will be an online campaign, where we will bring together these visuals and where young people from all across Europe, not just those 5 countries, will create an online campaign that then will run from, I think, April to October next year. And so we're already doing that. We'll have the planning meeting in 2 weeks for that. Then we are also right now doing a project called Build the Resistance, where Book is also, Bojan is also involved. If you can say a sentence or two.
Yeah, of course, it will be a youth exchange for young people from 6 countries, but the main idea is to learn about nationalist and far-right movements, to learn how they gained the popularity through previously, and to see is it repeating now and are there any similarities, but also to use street art and to occupy public space to express different ideas and to show in the public spaces that not everyone is prone to preach ideas like this. So to show in public that there are different opinions, different political opinions, and we are mainly trying to use street art, stencils, graffiti making. Yeah.
No, we speak about things that we just handed in, technically yesterday, because there was a big deadline, and you have to apply for funding if you want to get money. One of the projects that one of our volunteers / interns handed in is a project called Show Me Future, which takes less, usually with civic education we focus on problems, and with that project we want to focus on solutions. So we want to talk about what future do we want to live in, and then basically reverse engineer how to get there. And we'll do that through, the plan is to do that through 3 youth exchanges, 2 of them in Germany, 1 of them in Greece, and we will have one that focuses on pop culture, one that focuses on methods and on the kind of the European idea, and one where we will do some world building and actually develop the world, which kind of economy do we want to live in, which kind of governance do we want to have in the year 2050. So it's far enough away that we can still be creative and dream. And then one project that Mate handed in, We Against Hate Speech, if you want to go, if you can.
Yeah, Martin from Switzerland. The We Against Hate Speech is a project that was already implemented by CGE in 2016 in Germany and Serbia. The idea in that one was more about how online hate speech has been increasing and how there can be counter or new narratives to counter it, to the hate speech. And this is a movement which is actually going on from the European Commission for a long time. If successful, this will be a 4 events thing, 2 youth exchanges, 1 in Germany, 1 in Serbia, and then followed by a training course. The main idea and the whole thing is that how jokes, political campaigns, and also music in some stereotypical way, in some ironic way, is used in a way that it can hurt people or it contains hate speech. So how can people bring examples from within their cultures, within their countries? How can we study that, work on it more, and develop some counter narratives to counter it?
Yeah. Right, we could go to switch to the next slide, which is just a couple of impressions from different projects we did last year. So we go on the left side, you have below you have 2 participants from a project that we did with refugees, especially Amalia, and we were involved with that, where we trained them, we had refugees and migrants from rural communities in Thuringia and trained them in project management so that they could create their own initiatives. With the focus on civic education so that they could create their own NGOs essentially, or local initiatives to involve more people. And we have 2 of our participants there presenting their work at the final event, and at that same final event, which was our end of the year event from CGE last year, we also had a performance of these 3 glorious people on the top left, which was a performance called Refugee Women Smiling, where a 22-year-old Syrian woman, an 80-year-old German woman who had to flee after World War II, so who had the experience of being a refugee in her own country, being ostracized for being a refugee in her own country. Together with the German singer, they performed a very impressive performance. We would call that it's not a play, it's not nothing, it's a performance. So. And then what we have, as well as we have from Staring at Goats, one of our preliminary visuals. I just wanted to throw something current in there. Just to showcase, the kind of style that we might go for. Then we have top right. That was a project called Xenophobia Revisited, where experts and activists of 7 countries came together and talked about how World War II is being remembered right now in their countries. So in Italy, in Greece, in again Estonia, Portugal, Romania. I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Slovenia and Germany. And that's a picture when we were with that group in Buchenwald, and where one of our local partners from Top und Söhne, Rüdiger Bender, was showing us around. Okay. So that's that. And then we have an Encyclopedia of Anti-Discrimination, where we have a snapshot, a great project that Poliana was doing with an epic PDF that is on the website, I think.
It's available online. It's personal stories on the topic of discrimination and anti-discrimination of LGBTI persons from Kosovo, Bosnia, and Germany. So it's very nice poems, stories. I recommend it.
It's a glorious
It's
file
wonderful.
to view. And the last thing is from May 1st. This year, actually, we were part of a coalition that was was part of the counter demonstrations against the far right on the 1st of May. So we were part of like one of the kind of side places, and that's again with Gewinner from Toffen Söhne, myself, and like we were standing in front of a refugee home, and one of the refugee homes, and we were just blocking the street so that the far right couldn't march there. So that's also the kind of more activist part of the civic education field. Now I think I have like 1 second for
30
questions.
seconds probably.
Okay.
Around there.
So if there's questions. Yeah. No questions. Okay, then I'll hand over
Tell us about
to
the idea behind the name, Staring at Goats.
Staring at Goats. It was a placeholder. It was because it was about scapegoating. We knew that we wanted to talk about scapegoating, propaganda, like the subtitle, like scapegoating, propaganda, and the other 1918, 2018 was given, but we needed something catchy, and then Staring at Goats, I don't know, came up and stuck, and then we didn't change it before handing it in. It's, yeah.
Last moment thing.
Yeah, but we got funding, so maybe we should go with the placeholders from here on out. So, yeah. Otherwise, I would hand over to media literacy and Marina, I think.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Good. Then, hi everyone, I'm Marina, and I will start by placing the camera to the other side of the room because I care about the media and how we are represented in your organization, which you just covered with your hat.
Sorry.
Yeah, just say hi for everyone. We're gonna make a hi small video about our open day. We are online. Can I ask you to place it over here? I believe the light will be better. So, you see, media is part of our everyday life in CGE. We believe it's one of the tools that provide young people with the information. It's provide them with the way of thinking, shaping it. But we believe it has to be shaped by the youngsters who have critical thinking and who want to educate the others about media influence. There are a couple of projects that were running throughout 2016, 2017 related to this topic. One of them is Lost Home. It's a media in the sense of transforming the message through action, through communication, and in this way it was a theater. It was a German, Russian, Ukrainian youth exchange which brought together back in 2016 conflicting lands and allowed the youth to talk freely in the safe place about what's going on there, how they perceive each other, and what they can do together to cover the topic of homeland and their belonging to them. So Lost Home made it possible for this 3 group of young people to cooperate and produce a performance, which is also available on our website for those who are interested, and give the possibility for the media education to start its base in CGE. Then the next project was already mentioned by my colleagues. It's We Against Hate Speech, German-Serbian youth exchange, which covered the topic of hate speech. And again, since we talk about media, here we've noticed that there is a lot going on in social medias and websites, even in the comments of the newspaper articles, which have some negative influence on the audience, on the young people who read them and who produce them. So we decided decided to tackle the issue. We gathered the young people from both countries and together discovered what is hate speech, if we are influenced by it, if we are producing it, even not knowing, if the discrimination that is happening in the online sphere can be considered as the crime, or it's something as an act of free speech. So it was very controversial. It produced different movies in the first part of it in Germany, which are also available online for your viewing free of charge. And in the second part was meant mostly to cover the psychological part of being under the hate speech influence, which helped the participants to get deeper in the topic and identify with what is going on in this online sphere. There are plenty of other components in each of the projects that covers media. We use it as the channel to transfer our beliefs and values that Amalia mentioned in the beginning, to let the others understand what we stand for and what we believe in. And that's why media literacy is not just a pillow or a pillar in the sense of our activities. It's everywhere, and we use it to channel our message. Thank you. Okay. So next is the employability part of our projects, and I'll give the word to Zafar Saidaliyev.
Amalia,
And Amalia.
Okay.
Yes.
would you like to add something for DC for Jobs, if you want?
What happened?
I haven't
It's
started
just
yet.
started.
I haven't started yet.
Okay, so digital competence for jobs, or short it's called DC for Jobs, is a project within the strategical funding from Erasmus+. This is another format of funding, it's PXN2, so doesn't involve much about youth exchange. The idea of this project is to enhance the ability of youth workers to be able to inform them or educate them on how to work with young people with fewer opportunities background, teaching them digital competencies. So the young people will be able to, let's say, have a very basic or adequate competencies for them in terms of digital, allowing them to apply for jobs. So this is the idea. The partners, we are having 6 partners countries from Germany. There are 2 organizations from Germany, from Cyprus, we have Emphasis Center, that's the name of the organizations, and there is one from the Netherlands, and we have one from Spain, we have one from Latvia, and we have one from Romania. So that's 6. So the target group for these projects addressing the need of young people between 16 until 24 years old with the background of few opportunities, meaning that those who are not able to access educations, who are dropped out from schools, who are in the transitions between the school to the university and still don't know what to do with their lives, but still want to do something essential. Migrants background or refugees background, students or young people who parents are also having migrants as a background, and then which is not allowing them to access, so to say, digital conditions. I mean, what I mean is that sometimes this kind of additional educations requires you to pay certain money to be able to take a course or something. So this kind of competencies would be a basic for young people, so they could enter themselves to the job market as a young people. So the type of activities.
Maybe I can
Yeah.
continue. Hey everybody, my name is Zafar. So we're working with Amalia and other colleagues on this project, which is one of the biggest projects we have since last year. That's the strategic partnership project for 2 years, where we work constantly together to implement those goals that Amalia already brought up. Actually, yesterday we came back from a partner meeting where I was
trying to simplify our all activities in a very simple way. So hopefully yesterday's training would be helpful for me to explain in an easy way for you guys too. So basically we are there in this project, take our role as a youth worker, as a social worker, where we work with young people. We cooperate with our partners from other countries and develop teaching materials which can be transferable in the future for other colleagues of ours. So in 2 years we have to develop teaching materials and test them out and see if it works or not, and then put them together as a proper teaching material for young people to learn basic competences in ICT. I'm talking about everyday life knowledge that would help them to find a job. And at the end of the project, we're supposed to take these materials, put them together to make it easy for reusing it. So other youth workers in another city, for example in Berlin, can take the materials and easily use them and say, all right, so I have all the books, all the teaching materials, all the tools needed. We include their tools like open badges to help them recognize their achievements, and there are many interesting tools that we will develop and online platforms where they can sign up and take a course. And these tools or materials should help other youth workers in the future. That's the basic simplified version of the project.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I hope it will be. We're still in the process. We just finished 1 year. We're halfway. There's a lot to work on, but I hope that with the help of everybody, including people who are new here, who would be interested to support us throughout the way, because we're still in the process of finishing the tools and then pilot testing them with young people. And it's always welcome to when people come and join us to help out. They can bring young people who are interested. We can guide them and then test the materials and see if it works or not. It's an experimental project, so to speak. I guess next one. This is the one from my colleague John. He is still a big fan of social entrepreneurship topics. That's why he was developing his project idea on empowering young people through entrepreneurship education. So basically to think of social startups, social entrepreneurship. And finally he got an approval for a youth exchange, which will be implemented in Weimar in 2 months. And you are welcome to spread the word and join the project if you're interested, but you should be younger than 30. Yeah, so the idea there is to introduce a topic of startups to young people from abroad. I hope they will learn how they can develop their own ideas and try to bring it to some kind of shape that is usable for either a startup idea or social enterprise that would benefit society at the same time as generating sustainable profits for people to work. So that's the youth exchange. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Any questions at this point?
Feel free to jump in the process. If you have questions, just jump in and bring the questions up. All right, I think the next turn would be our...
Yeah. Hi guys. Hello everybody. Again, thanks for coming here on a Friday afternoon. We really appreciate it. My name is Paul. I'm an intern with CGE, and I'm just going to briefly tell you about one of our current ongoing projects, which is a collaboration between CGE and the Start Create Fellowship. The Start Create Fellowship is an international cultural exchange program. It's sponsored by the Robert Bosch Stiftung and also the Goethe Institute in Thessaloniki. And so the idea behind the program is to provide capacity building and training for Greek citizens who are interested in cultural initiatives and implementing a project in Greece that's going to improve their neighborhoods and their communities. And so through this collaboration, CGE is serving as a host institute for one of the 30 fellows who were selected as part of the program. And our fellow just arrived here this week. Mariana, who you all will meet in just a moment. She'll be with us for 6 weeks, and together we'll be implementing some small mini projects, which sort of encompass her background and her interests, and also some local issues that we're focused on here in Erfurt. And in this time that Mariana is with us, she'll be working to develop a larger project that she will then go on to implement in Greece at the end of her time here with us. So yeah, without further ado, everyone please welcome
Thanks for
Mariana.
having me. Okay, thanks for having me. So as Paul said, I'm Mariana. I've studied graphic design and visual communication, and then did a lot of child work in Athens, Greece, and UK, London. I believe that a child's work is to play, and toys are their tools. And that's why I am doing creative workshops for kids and their families. During my 6-week placement at CGE, I'm planning to further my skills in my theoretical skills in project management and practice with the aspiration to benefit local issues. And once I'm back to Greece, I'm hoping to start making collaborative playgrounds to bring neighborhood together. With the first example of my closest, the park closest to my home that got in disrepair, and the vacant space lost its original purpose. So making a playground with second-hand materials, we hope to bring neighborhood together, reclaiming their space. I'm done.
You are done only for these presentations, not for your program.
That's the best way to end a presentation.
Not
So, any questions?
Yeah, questions.
Questions?
yeah.
Yes, please.
Are
Question
you
me.
planning to test something like this here in Germany?
Well, through my mini project, we're trying to test some essential tools and actions needed to happen later on in Greece. But we have to take also in mind the local, what's the name?
Yeah, the local regulations
The local
here in
regulations.
Germany.
So we've already had our first meeting, and we are trying to set the boundaries of what we can do and what would be the more beneficial thing to do, both for my project but also for the community. But stay in touch. I have a lot of good things coming up. It's true. It's true.
So because of the local regulations, so the idea that we're developing on right now, we still have to work out all the fine details, but the idea is that instead of an outdoor play space, we'll be creating sort of a mobile indoor play space, and we'll be working with children probably around kindergarten age. And that project is going to happen on November 3rd
Nice to know.
at the community center that is down south, in the south of Erfurt, STZ it's called. And yeah, we'll put out formal announcements about it, and we'll create some flyers, and you'll see them around the city, or there'll be Facebook invites too. But I mean, if you guys have brothers, sisters, or just family members, young
Or if
children,
you're a
who'd
kid
like
at
to
heart.
get involved, yeah,
If you feel like playing like a kid.
yeah, then join us on November 3rd.
Yeah.
It's fun.
One addition to that, maybe
Yes.
we can still announce it. We're still planning, but if it works out, in a week time, maybe end of next week, we will try to do some small flash mob style of actions in the city center, where in each 20 minutes we'll be moving a small playground space with tables with chairs, different board games, which are easy to engage locals that will be standing there. So if we will decide to do that, you are all welcome to join. The more people we are, the better it will be. Of course, the details will follow if we will still go ahead and do it. There are two versions: either we get a permit for a proper day, or we do a very small mini scale 20 minutes moving like a flash mob, but with the tables on the chairs and something. I hope that these engagements will help also for you guys to do something with us. So what I mean is
Yeah.
everybody who's here welcome to join.
Yeah,
Join
looking for
us.
volunteers.
Yeah, join. Come out to play.
Yeah.
Any other questions? We can.
All right.
So it's me again. Yeah, this is sustainability and well-being topic. As I said before, that they are not separated to each other. We are trying to create synergy between each topic of the projects. Yeah, so these are the projects that have been implemented the last even 5 years. Some of the projects, like We Against Hate Speech, was implemented last year, I believe. And the Organic Impact was a youth exchange project. I think was also implemented 2016. And Make the Change Come True. This was about sustainability in young people and how they deal with the issues of sustainability in terms of recycling their resources, getting to know about the importance of the environment around them and so on. And then the last was street workout. So this project was implemented, I think, more than 2 years ago. The street workout, Marina?
Yeah, just I can add a bit because I was there back in the days. It's a very interesting project about young people going to work out in the streets, meaning they care about their well-being, but it's common for the countries who don't have that well infrastructure for young people to train in the gyms or being provided with some free courses and so on. So they would go on the streets, find some locations where it's possible to do push-ups, other forms of physical exercises, and then create a community out of it, which is a very big growing movement. And the partner countries from Spain, Georgia, Ukraine, Russia were there to talk about their experience and how this movement of street workout changed their life. Because instead of using drugs or spending their energy on destroying public spaces, they would turn it into the physical exercises and actually donating some money or contributing their manpower to building new spaces, which is very interesting for us as well.
Yeah. So that was the idea behind this project. And the next one,
We can add about chill out.
yeah, this is Chill Out. So the Chill Out project was implemented, I think, last July, but it has been approved 2 years ago. So we needed a lot of time to crystallize the concept of this program because we liked it so much. So yeah, it was joined by, I think, 5 partner countries. And we had around 25-ish something of participants from those countries. The idea of the Chill Out project was to provide young people with some kind of getting in touch within themselves, simply to give them opportunity to be able to get to know themselves, being surrounded by the nature, so they could have the opportunity where they could just, relax and not to care so much about what is happening around them for this project's period of time. But also, it was the moment when there was a lot of interpersonal interactions between each participants for them to know what is the meaning of chill out itself. Does it mean that is it negative, is it positive, and how to do it in the very harmonic way. So we wanted to give them an idea or a tools how can they deal with the stress. That is very low budget way of doing. So we did a lot of outdoor exercises. We did meditations and yoga. We even did some kind of art therapy exercise with the participants and so on. So in order for them to reuse these tools when any other case they had to cope with some stresses within their lives. And of course the areas of the project was really beautiful. We had it in Trabach. was really beautiful, and we did a lot of hikings, exercises, and great food, and simply enjoying the nature, and then getting to know other young peoples at the same time. Yeah, and there was even a song, created by the participants, but I don't remember. Maybe Marina remembers still.
No, I have it recorded somewhere. It's my passion for media. We'll publish it soon.
It's not censored.
This one is still related to the topic of sustainability. We want to have also local projects that is tackling these issues of sustainability and community. It was one-day event, which was covered by the 1 month event called Sustainability Monat. So we were in the cooperations with. Maybe you can add something about.
It was organized by, I think, the municipality, but it was also this European month is also, I think, European wide. So, but it started out as a European week, a sustainability week. Sorry. Last year we also had an event. This year it was a whole sustainability month, coordinated by a group from the university actually, who would then coordinate all the local foundations, all the local actors working, in fields related to sustainability. So, and they were all connected to this sustainability goals. Yes, sustainable development goals, and we chose like the ones that are more related to our general work, which is more focused on society rather than the hardcore topic of sustainability itself, climate change. So yeah, we cooperated with the Stadt Rennes and Bürgerstiftung Erfurt, and then had this panel discussion with an architect, with someone from the Heinrich Böll Foundation, and yeah, exactly. And Mehrwertstadt, who did this run at city mayor from a grassroots perspective. So we had these three very different perspectives on how to create society in a sustainable way.
So it was the format was 1 day of workshops and panel discussion. There was no workshop actually. It was panel discussions with inviting experts, and they talk about the local project that they have been implemented and how for them to be able to implement these projects with the involvement of other people. And then the last one I think here is. This is Start in Dialogue. This is the bilateral project that was funded by Foreign Ministry by Auswärtiges Amt. We have partner organizations with Russian partner organizations. So the idea of this project is to invite urban activists from Russia to provide them with study cases or framework that will able to help them implementing this project back to their countries. So there are a few activities within these projects. One of the projects for them is to visit study cases in Germany. This is what we had last year. They visited Berlin, they visited Hamburg. So they wanted to see what sort of projects or activities that were implemented by communities. So we brought them there. So they learn about how the society functions in that particular study cases, how each projects were implemented in Berlin or in Hamburg. We took them for a tour for a week, and then they went back to St. Petersburg. They wanted to see how this idea can be transferred to St. Petersburg. For instance, the projects of rafting, like a space raft, the projects of doing some kind of public activities in public space, creating some do-it-yourself bicycles or do-it-yourself house that could sell something, social entrepreneurship activities, and so on. So we have the website, and then the one that was held 2017, and we had it was prolonged now, and now we have the new thema, although it is still the same format. So the idea of this project is to be able to have partners from each cities to be able to create a dialogue of what is happening between cities. And then they create networks of urban activists and young people. And then the one that we are having now in 2018 is called Region in Dialogue. So the idea is similar, but instead of focusing on the city that was waterfront city, just like previously we had in 2017, now we had a small cities example. So we took one study cases in Russia, it's called the Leningrad region, and then in the end they will go to Germany, visiting small villages in German. We will have to provide them with some programs for them to be able to implement some of the projects, tiny projects, workshops and conferences in Thuringia. And then in the end they will reuse these ideas for their own project in Russia. So this is, this is what does mean by sustainability in sustainability. Okay, what about now?
It's not.
So now opportunities at CGE by Duarte.
It's Hi everybody, I'm Duarte, a Portuguese volunteer, and I'm here with Anna. Join me if you want. and then Anastasia from Ukraine. Anna from Spain, and we are currently the foreign volunteers at CGE. And therefore, we will be presenting the volunteering opportunities that we have here in this association. And they are basically divided in two big groups. Local volunteering opportunities from people from Erfurt or Germany that want to help with their skills and their work in our association, in our projects, in everything you've seen so far. Or international volunteering opportunities like ours, which usually require to go 1 year abroad, or in our case, come 1 year from abroad to Germany. And currently, in terms of international programs like ours, we have Community Goes Europe, which is our own project, which has 4 international volunteers in Erfurt, only 3 of us here right now, but we will have a 4th volunteer from Belarus that will be arriving hopefully at the end of this month. And we also sent 4 volunteers around Europe, 1 to Spain, 1 to Portugal, 1 to Ukraine, and 1 to Belarus. Next year we will have Community Goes Europe 2, which will require us sending 10 people abroad. 2 to Portugal, 2 to Spain, 2 to Ukraine, 2 to Belarus, and 2 to Russia. So, if you are interested, or if you know anyone interested in spending 1 year abroad in any of these countries, feel free to share. And what do we do here? Well, in Community Goes Europe, the project is mainly focused on working towards the community. We are meant to be creating projects and being active participants in Erfurt community, the same way that the German volunteers abroad will be active members in their hosting communities. This creates intercultural dynamics and different points of view in the same city, so it's an awesome project in the possibility that it allows people to exchange ideas in several ways. Other than that, if you feel like working with us, we also have 2 other different opportunities, either internships or freelancing. In internships, we have tasks like, for example, friends like Paul, and in freelancing, it's like if you feel like working with us, but freelancer like money.
But not every day.
What?
Feel like, but not every day.
Yeah, exactly. If you
like to work, but not
No, exactly. If you have some sort of skills, or if you feel you can be helpful, or if you really like what we do, but you don't have that much availability to be here every day or every week, like interns or volunteers do, you can still be helpful and cooperate with us, and we will most gladly accept you and receive you with our arms wide open. And after this brief introduction, I give the speech to my volunteer colleagues, so if they feel like sharing part of their experience, or if you feel like asking questions, as in, what are you doing here? Are you liking it? Whatever.
I have a question. What you're doing here?
And I don't like it.
So, as was mentioned, we came here for a year, and we all are eager to get new experience in project management and to help CGE with the current project, and also to create some idea of our own project and have the opportunity to implement it in CGE. And we are helping with some areas of organization activities, like organization of events, social media management, website management. And I can say that we came here like months ago, or for someone it's 2.5 weeks. And now we are getting to know what the projects are. We are developing already our skills in the projects, working in different areas. And I think we all are enjoying our experience here.
Yeah, for sure.
Anna, a few words from you?
Everything has been said. No.
Tell us about what did you guys do today? What did you do today? What were your
well,
tasks today?
What are your tasks? Today, organizing the whole open day.
Thank
Let's applause for them, okay?
Yeah.
It's
Presentation.
been good.
Presentation, having
Yeah.
some mentoring meetings to understand how our work, how is our work going, and well, getting this set up so to have receive it.
Can I maybe add something to that? Maybe Marina, you can also mention. Remember the name of the project that they're involved with? It's called Community Goes Europe. So they have a very challenging, big task, goal behind them too, which is a very big picture. It's promoting Europe in communities. One of the reasons why we developed actually initially was to respond to populist movements, to respond to political changes that are happening around Europe. Because a lot of political changes show us that if we don't do things now, change now, it's going to go bad. So one of the goals, like aim or something, or something visionary, is to bring Europe back to communities. So communities understand what is Europe, why Europe is there, why do we need Europe, and so on and so forth. It's a very challenging task, obviously. It's not a one-day thing. It takes years, but they are one of those leading people in terms of moving ahead with bringing this topic to the communities, among many others, obviously.
Yeah, and Europe is, after all, the reason why we're here, as it provides funding and opportunities for people like us who would like to pursue an adventure that would mean get out of the comfort zone and work towards other people, in this case in Erfurt and the Erfurt community.
Questions?
Questions? No? Then we have
Oh, yeah.
to William.
Hi, my name is Bojana. Moritz introduced me previously. I arrived to CGE as EVS volunteer, the same as Duarte, Anna, and Anastasia, but I decided to stay for some more time, and now it's 2.5 years. I'm not leaving. I will ask.
And you got funding.
Yes, I will just briefly talk about local events because you have heard a lot and some of them were already mentioned, so it will be very short. When I arrived to CGE, mostly what CGE was doing was focused on international youth exchanges and international projects. So at that moment we realized that there is a need to reconnect with local community and to take active role in the life of local community and in what's happening in the city. So we started slowly developing different small projects, and from that now we have a lot of them, but there are some of them which are happening regularly every month, and some of them from time to time. First, things that are happening every month are movie nights, Sprachbars, language bars, and
Game night.
game nights. Yeah, game nights. Yeah, we have a calendar here that you can check, and you can join all of our events. Sprachbars are happening every first Monday in a month, and they are mostly happening at Rotter Elephant.
All of them.
All of them.
For all eternity from here on out.
Okay, so every first Monday you can come to Rotter Elephant, and we have Sprachbars. Movie nights, personally, I have started them as a volunteer, and my idea was to bring different stories. It's documentary movies, different stories from all around here in Erfurt, so that people get different perspectives, so that we know stories from Balkans, stories from different countries, different experiences, because I believe that that's the only way how we can empathize with the other, so that we know the story of the other. And we also have game nights, because we believe it's important to play even if we are grown-ups. Those are three events that are happening every month, and we also have local involvements in different projects. Performance of refugee women that was there, a sustainability month that was already mentioned. Marina organized coding school for youngsters from Erfurt. So there are a lot of different events with different topics. So we are willing to join initiatives, and we are willing for others to come here and to start some initiatives, as long as it is under the values the CGE is sharing and working under. So we are really open to be part of the local dynamics, as long as it is within our values and beliefs. So yes, I invite you to join us to take part in all of them. For the movie nights, if you have any movie that you would like to screen and that you believe is important to be seen by others, contact me. We can arrange everything. Yes, I think that's it. And one more thing important. Remember the youth exchange that will happen in Portugal at the end of this month, Build the Resistance. We still do have open slot there. If someone wants to join and is interested, you can come after this. I will be here. You can ask me and I will tell you details.
I'm not going to give another presentation. I just want to. This is the let's say formal end of our presentations of the content part. So thank you all so much for coming. We're very happy that you were here. I hope that you will, stay for a bit longer to join us for snacks and coffee and, maybe a nice conversation or two. So also thank you again to our glorious volunteers to organize this day. So thank you so much for that. Thanks for the technical support. Thanks to everyone essentially. So yeah, the bazaar, the buffet is open. Thank you. Food, drink.